We all begin to question our mortality as we get older. We look around our homes and we think to ourselves, geez Louise, we have a lot of stuff. The problem is that once we die, our family is stuck having to go through all of our stuff. If you don't want to burden your family with all the things that you left behind, keep watching because this extreme method of decluttering will have your home clutter-free in no time. Hi, I'm Margo, and I am always looking for simple and fast ways to declutter so we moms are less stressed, are more productive, and have more free time to focus on things that we love. If you're a working mama and you want to successfully survive work, life, and mommyhood, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell. I release brand new videos every Wednesday. What is Swedish death cleaning? The name Swedish death cleaning is very morbid and quite appropriate given that the premise is decluttering as you prepare for death. It's bad enough that our loved ones have to deal with our passing. I mean, we don't because, well, we're dead. But what's worse is that we actually leave behind all of these things that they have to spend hours and maybe weeks and maybe even months going through. Do we really want to punish them post our passing with the task of going through literally every single item that we own? Probably not, unless you're using it as some form of punishment, in which case, no judgment. The point of this decluttering method is to unburden yourself of all of your clutter so that your family doesn't have to go through it all. I've used this method and I will tell you this. We hoard a lot of clutter. I've used the Swedish death method in my own home as well as my mom's home, and I can't tell you the amount of clutter that we were able to get rid of. Whether it has sentimental value or we think we might need it during, I don't know, a zombie apocalypse, our lives are filled with an overwhelming amount of clutter. For some of us, the clutter is out in the open, and for others, it's hidden behind closet doors and in drawers. But the point is, we all have a lot of it. So how do we get rid of it? And the extreme methodology behind the Swedish death cleaning method is a really fantastic decluttering method in order to rid yourself of clutter. And now, do you have to wait until you're on the verge of death? No, you don't. You can apply the Swedish death cleaning method today. To prove my point, as you're watching this video, look around your space. Can you spot clutter? Can you spot at least a few items that you don't need? Probably. You know what? Leave a comment. Let me know what item did you spy that you can get rid of. So how do you use the Swedish death cleaning method? So the Swedish death cleaning method is quite simple. You know, you have to go through literally, I mean, it's a lengthy process, but a simple one at its core. You have to go through every single item that you own, and you have to decide whether or not it has use, purpose, in your life. Is this an item that you need is question number one. And number two, if you decide to hold on to the item, is this an item that someone in your family, your friends, your close-knit circle can benefit from? If the answers to these two questions are no, get rid of it. My rule of thumb is this: if you have not used the item, like if you pick something up and you're like, I kind of maybe sort of might need it, I don't know. My rule of thumb is this: if you have not used it or have not worn it in a year, it's time for it to go. So how can you put the Swedish death cleaning method into practice? So, you know, I had mentioned that you literally go through every single item that you own and you pick up each item. So for example, this is a lemon or lime juice squeezer. Like, I have it. I've probably had it for a very long time. How many times have I used it? 0. So this is something where, you know, do I have use for this? Absolutely not. So we would get rid of it. Another item, this pizza cutter. I mean, how often do I find myself cutting pizza at home? Probably never. And the few times that I do cut pizza, maybe for my daughter, guess what? I use a kitchen scissor. Another item, as I was utilizing the Swedish Death Cleaning method, that I found was this. And at first I was like, what in the world is this? And then I'm like, oh, wait a second. So this is something that you use to, I guess, crack lobster or crab legs. Guys, I haven't had lobster or crab in like 10 years. Why am I still holding on to this? And I actually found a few of them. So this would have to go. Would anybody benefit from this? Probably not. So it's going into, well, recycling. So some other items that we tend to unnecessarily hoard a lot of. Coffee mugs. How many do we really need? Then there are the water bottles, you know? I mean, when I was decluttering, I had like 15 of these. It's insane. So while utilizing the Swedish Death Cleaning method, just go through each one and say, you know, is this something that serves a purpose? Is this something that I use? Is this something that I need to hold on to? Is this something that my family would benefit from? Your family is not going to benefit from your collection of 20 mugs. They're just not. So get rid of them. If you're getting value from this video so far, show me some love by tapping that like button and let me know, would you consider trying the Swedish Death Cleaning method? Where do you start the Swedish Death Cleaning method, right? So if you've ever tried any decluttering methodology, it's always like you look around your space, big or small, right? It doesn't matter. And you're like, oh my God, you're overwhelmed at the thought of where should you start? Now with the Swedish Death Cleaning method, the best place to start, and I feel like in general, when you are decluttering, the best place to start is the easiest, which is typically your closet. The decluttering method can be emotional, especially if you're following the Swedish Death Cleaning method. And again, with the premise being as you prepare for old age, you know, it's sort of unburdening your family from the turmoil of having to go through all of your things. You know, a lot of times when we declutter, we encounter, you know, these sentimental items, and it's very hard to get rid of them because when we ask ourselves the question of, will we use it? There are certain sentimental items that are not for use. They are items that bring back amazing memories of maybe somebody that you lost or an experience that you've had. And it's not so cut and dry to just get rid of something because it doesn't have use and because it won't make somebody else happy. Maybe this is an item that just makes you happy and the purpose that it brings you is a happy memory. And, you know, I think that that's enough to hold on to that item. Now, again, it shouldn't be like 200 things in your home that have sentimental value to you. I think that's too much. But in general, just keep in mind with decluttering is not like cleaning and tidying up. Decluttering is, you know, picking up items and deciding whether or not you want them in your space. You need them in your space. And some things are very, very difficult to part with. And I think that that's okay. So within the Swedish Death Cleaning method, starting with your closet, in most instances, you're not going to have a lot of things that you have an emotional connection with. Now, with the Swedish Death Cleaning method, you can start by category or you can start by room. So what do I mean by that? You can begin, you know, in your closets, you can begin in the bathroom, you can begin in the kitchen. Although I will tell you as a pro tip, the kitchen is like a nightmare to declutter. There's so many different things. And as you're decluttering, as I was using the Swedish Death Cleaning method, the mess that I made as I was going through the decluttering process was like extreme. So just keep in mind that when practicing decluttering methodologies, you really want to dedicate time in your schedule to this process. And typically it's not going to take you a day. If you choose to start by category, then you would do things like maybe decluttering all of your clothes, decluttering all of your books, decluttering all of your makeup, decluttering all the, I don't know, holiday decorations, right, that you keep in your basement. Regardless of where you start, commit to the process, understand that it does take time, understand that it will not happen overnight, and also keep in mind that sometimes it can be an emotional process. For a list of what to declutter in each and every room, grab my free Ultimate Mom's Decluttering Guide. I'll leave a link in the description box below. So when should you start? The answer is now. Like now. You don't have to wait. Again, it's an extreme, Swedish death cleaning is an extreme method because it forces you to go through every single item that you own. You really don't have to wait. You know if your home is past due, overdue for a massive decluttering. So my recommendation is plan it out and start now. Clutter contributes to so much of our stress, anxiety. It overruns our homes and keeps us cleaning for hours. It's also the thief of time. Now, all of my mamas out there, you know that the more trinkets, the more stuff you have, the more time you spend cleaning. And mamas, do you have an extra hour, 2 hours a day? No. Would you rather spend your time cleaning, tidying up, and decluttering? Or would you rather spend it, I don't know, enjoying time with your family, or maybe reading a book or watching a show that you enjoy? Invite a friend, order some pizza, pop open a few bottles of wine, and tackle your home. Commit to the decluttering process and don't tackle more than you can chew. So what do I mean by that? A lot of people get so excited and so amped up about the Swedish death cleaning method, and they're like, that's it, I'm doing it. They literally take all of the clothing out of their closet, they dump it on their bed, they're about 45 minutes in, and the pile just feels like it keeps getting bigger, and then they give up. And now there's just a huge pile of stuff, and then they take the stuff, they open their closet, they shove it in, and they're like, I just don't want to do this anymore. A pro tip as you declutter is to create pile. Organization is key. So create a number of piles. You can create the keep pile, the throwaway pile, the donate pile, and you can actually also add a sell pile. So as long as you have those 4 piles, it's going to make it much easier for you and you're going to be much more organized in the decluttering process. Another pro tip for all of my mamas is please have a strategy for getting rid of your things. A lot of times we kind of start the decluttering process, but we forget like essentials such as garbage bags, boxes, like where are you putting this stuff? How are you giving it away? You know, where are you going to be donating it? You want to make sure that this is something that you're prepared for. Not only that, another thing that I've encountered a lot is like just the movements of clutter. So you'll declutter in your house. Maybe you'll put things in bags and boxes, and then you take those bags and boxes and you put them in the trunk of your car, and now your car is cluttered, right? There needs to be systems in place. It's not just I decluttered and that's it, right? So make sure that you kind of have a plan, and a simple plan is when are you decluttering? How much time do you have to declutter? What room or category are you starting with? How are you getting rid of these things? Plan, and plan ahead. If you hate decluttering and want to get it done quickly, you can actually check out this video here where I go through how you can do a massive declutter in a day. And finally, with the Swedish death cleaning method, probably the most important thing is to make it last. A lot of times we do a massive overhaul, right? I'm not talking about just the little 60-second increments or 15 minutes a day that we might spend, you know, decluttering a drawer. I'm talking about massive declutterings. And then what happens is we declutter, we invest time, we go through the emotional turmoil, and then 3 months later, our home is back to being jam-packed with a bunch of clutter that we don't need. And oftentimes the culprit is our spending habits. See, those need to change or you will forever be in an endless cycle of clutter. You might also go broke. So it's like a win-win situation if you work on that. But whenever you're out and about and you're shopping, ask yourself, do you really need that item? Are you considering the Swedish death cleaning method? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Don't wait until you have 1 foot in the grave to try the Swedish death cleaning method. Most of our homes can benefit from this form of extreme decluttering today. And then the most important thing is just to maintain it. Good luck on your decluttering journey. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my weekly videos. Thank you so much for watching, and always remember to be good to yourselves.